whether you are a bean aficionado or your first time cooking dry beans, not using a can, you're in the right place. Today we're going to talk about how to cook beans. So if you're not in our Heirloom Bean and Grain Club, get on the wait list. It's really hard to get into, but it's really worth it. So if you are in the Bean Club, you're here to learn a little bit more of our tips and tricks of how to cook beans. So cooking heirloom beans is the same as cooking any other bean. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your beans out, you're going to look through them and make sure there's no bits of leaves or stems. There probably isn't going to be. I got to tell you, all the years I've been cooking beans, I've never once found any, but you look anyways. It does come from a farm, so you never know. And then you're going to run and rinse them off. Always, always, always. Even though they look clean, and they are really clean, rinse them anyways. Just rinse. So rinse your beans. Now, you're ready to move on to the next step. You're either going to soak or not to soak. I encourage you to watch the video to soak or not to soak. It's next in the series. And after you've decided to soak or not to soak, next is cooking. So whether you've soaked or not, you're going to cook them in one of three ways. A pot on the stove. You could do this, you could do a clay pot, you could do whatever you want. I like something a little thick bottomed. So that's why clay pots are really thick bottomed, and they give you an even heat, which is why they're really great for beans and kind of well known for beans. A Dutch oven like this will also work really well for that, and that's my usual go-to. Or you can do a slow cooker and just cook them all day long, which is also great, set it and forget it. Or you can do the pressure cooker back there. Personally, I do the pressure cooker a lot. Now, that being said, slow and low on the stove all day, or like 3 hours, gives you a creamy, delicious bean like you will not believe. So, kind of decide what you want to do there. Let's talk about what goes into that pot besides the beans. Most important thing to go inside the pot is salt. So salt is going to go into that pot. Now, I usually put maybe about a teaspoonish of salt. I don't really measure, to be honest. I kind of do this. I take and I go, and then I do a couple of those. But it's about a teaspoon of salt. You don't need tons of salt. You just need a little bit, because the salted water helps with the beans to get softer more evenly, and it softens that outer skin so that the beans hydrate more evenly, and you don't get blowouts. Nobody wants bean blowouts, remember? So blowouts are like when the skin peels back and the inside splurts everywhere, and you don't get those pretty beautiful beans that you want for your salads and beautiful dishes that you're going to cook. So you kind of want them, so always salt water. The other trick is to use this kombu. Kombu is the secret weapon of chefs, and now you too. So kombu is available in our store, so if you want, and you can add it to your order if you are in the Bean Club. That is a easy add-on. Also, you can get it in like Whole Foods, natural food stores, Asian food stores. Kombu. It is seaweed, but even if you're going, ew, yuck, I don't like seaweed, it doesn't taste like seaweed. It tastes like nothing. It doesn't add any flavor. It enhances the flavor. It is nature's MSG. So it's going to really make everything super yummy and delicious. All you're going to do is you're going to take a strip, you're going to take and break off a piece that's about this big, and just throw it in the pot with the beans and your salt and water. So if I've got, what you're going to want to do is you want water to be about this much in the Instant Pot, about this much above your bean line, on the stove about this much about the bean line, and slow cooker probably about the same as the stove, maybe a little bit less. And from that point on, now you get to choose. I usually cook mine with just salt and kombu. I don't always cook with kombu, but I should, because it actually helps with digestion too, in addition to making it more yummy. But I sometimes forget. I should keep these next to the stove, right? The other things that a lot of people put a bay leaf in. I just use salt because I like to taste the flavor of the actual beans. You will not believe, because these are heirloom beans and so perfectly grown, they're so much more flavorful than any bean you've ever had. People put all this stuff in the beans because they usually have like basic commodity beans, which have very little flavor. These guys are packed with flavor, and each one has its own unique, delicious flavor and texture. So to taste that, I really just go with salt. But if I'm going to do something like I'm making a soup and I'm just make it right from the bean stock that they're cooking in, I might add my flavoring and my aromatics at that time. If I'm doing a refried bean, I'll add a bay leaf, I'll add some garlic, and I'll add some onion. With onion, you can just take an onion with the peel on, cut it in half, and just throw it in the pot. And then you just take the onion out before you serve the beans. It just gives the flavor of it. You can even put a little bit of like cumin and stuff like that in it, but you don't have to. You can add that all after. And sometimes it's easier to add it after because you can kind of taste as you go and keep changing the flavor profile. The other thing you might want to add is a dry chili. So we happen to have a really great dry chili in the store. They're great to add to your pot of beans. You just add one in the pot of beans. It doesn't really make them spicy, but it gives it just a slight bit of heat, and it just infuses those beans with that yummy flavor. There are tons of recipes on our website, literally tons of recipes on our website. So go to the website, and when you go there, you'll see click recipes. You'll see a little thing that says categories. If you click on that, you can choose beans, and it'll show you all of the recipes for beans. And we have a lot of them. So enjoy, happy bean eating. Don't let them be pantry props. Cook with them tonight. Enjoy.